This is where I left off in the last video, which was during the summer solstice. No, it wasn't. It was during midwinter. So this border along the picket fence has now been weeded, composted, pruned, mulched, and I have a big pile destined for the bonfire. I have an idea to extend this border so that it does a bit of a curve out. We drive around this kind of roundabout here, so this border could come out a little bit more and extend out from that picket fence, but that will be a future project. I've got several Euphorbia wolfanii that are starting to fill out a bit with the end of winter. I believe this is an English lavender, and it is in full bloom at the end of winter. I'll prune it after this flowering. So I'll extend this bed all the way out here until the so-called driveway part. And I'll extend it out there as well. Since the last video, I have planted a forsythia, and it is promising blooms soon. The smoke bush tree is still in its winter dormancy. So this bed will extend all the way out eventually, but that will be a much later project. Another project will be this area, the center of the roundabout. I have planted a grevillea here. It has an orange flower. It's from West Australia, and I'm hoping it will replace the food that the tea tree provided, which we had cut down. The tea tree that was in the center of the front garden bed there at the front of the house. The birds, particularly rosellas, enjoyed feeding from it. So I'm hopeful that grevillea will provide some food for the rosellas. So this is another future project, to plant this up into a garden with the linden tree there as a feature tree. In the terracotta pot, I'm thinking of planting a canna. Another more immediate project is this bed I'm making here. I would like to plant silver birches and some other plants, bushes here, perennials, and experimenting with the fact that the septic tank overflow pipes come here. In summer, this area remains green, so I'm hoping that we'll water the silver birches in our very hot, dry summers. Today is another very dark day and a lot of mist and drizzle. It is late winter, being the 17th of August, and there are 2 weeks left until spring. It's a maximum of 8 today and a minimum of 0.6. The sun is rising at 7:05 and setting at 5:51 p.m. I've got another idea here, just behind the wisteria, to plant some macrophylla hydrangeas. The theory being that the shade of the wisteria might allow the hydrangea to survive in the heat of summer. And I will plant this bed with something. This will be another future project, not immediate, as I'm still working on a lot of gardens at the moment. My vegetable patch down there may be remaining dormant this season so I can focus on the house garden. This is my lilac, which I am looking forward to seeing flowering soon. There are 2 weeks until spring. We have had some 16-degree days, but today being a top of 8. This whole weekend actually, it's gone back to winter. My lawn, which I'm hoping to extend out this season, is doing well, and I might even have to mow it soon. Got a bit of an eyesore here with all of my gardening buckets, which I really need to put somewhere else. This garden is looking much better than what it was. And I have recently planted more cornflowers. I've transplanted some lupins I found in this corner, hoping to repeat the pattern because I've got lupins further down. Hollyhocks will dominate near to the wisteria, and I'm hoping to be more successful with growing nasturtiums in this area once the frosts have finished. This is where I planted some more cornflowers. And I managed to get some breadseed poppies that have already sprouted here. The pestamon there have survived all winter, as have these foxgloves, though they're not looking the healthiest. The hellebores continue to grow after their transplanting, but no flowers as yet. I'm not sure if they will flower. More breadseed poppies, all of which seem to have sprouted. And around this tree stump, I planted some delphiniums. That bed there by the picket fence, I mulched in spent cosmos, and I believe they're already sprouting. Hopefully they won't die in all of the frosts that we're yet to have. I have purchased spirea and planted it here and there, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that performs. I put an old bird bath there with a solar sprinkler, but we're yet to have good enough sun to make it work properly. These hellebores look really good and are attracting the bees. Doing well despite being transplanted. Every time I video, I do it on a different kind of setting. I'm trying to work out the best type of camera setting to get the best quality. It's hard when we do continue to have these dark days. There's not a lot of light. I trimmed back the lavender, which is an Italian lavender. Rex. I'm really happy with this corner, which I've spent quite a few days on. I had to dig out lots of granite boulders, which I used to make this retaining wall. So though they were all dug into the bed, which was a surprise. And I've planted in or replanted seaside daisy, catmint, euphorbia wolfenii, gora. This is a orange chrysanthemum, which I'm hoping will contrast nicely with the Westringia. There used to be a pomegranate there, and it took me a good half hour to dig it out. So this border garden is getting there. I do have a long way to go. And currently I'm up to this section, and I might even finish this today. But this is a work in progress, and because it slopes away from the north side and it's under 2 she oaks, it gets a lot of shade in winter but a lot of sun in summer. So it's a tricky garden. I think I will be repeating the euphorbia, geum, chrysanthemum, salvias. The snapdragons actually do quite well, as does this white geranium. So I'll repeat that throughout. That is a rock rose, and it does quite well, so I'll leave that as a feature. I do have 2 Sunday phrase hydrangeas up there, which I'm hoping have not died, and I think I'll replant them to the middle of this bed and add lots of compost. This is I think it's a snowdrop tree or bush, and I'm going to plant that up along the picket fence. Herbs do quite well here too. Thyme, oregano, marjoram and sage. The oregano spreads throughout the garden, so I need to get rid of a fair bit of it. And this is a verbena, a lemon verbena I believe, which I might transplant to the top of where the picket fence is. The Dusty Miller does well, so I think I'll repeat that through this border garden. Can't really see, but I do have a heuchera there which has survived the winter. The rosemary hedge is flowering, and it does have some dying branches which I need to prune out. The bed beyond needs weeding, and I hope to get to it quite soon. The stock have been flowering all winter, and I'm so impressed that I bought some double petal stock which I have planted here, and hopefully they will do well as well. So the daffodils are coming up here in late winter, along with grape hyacinth, which is only just starting to sprout. And when it does sprout properly or bloom, my hope is that it will contrast nicely with the yellow daffodil. So there is some grape hyacinth, and it will create a nice picture against the yellow of the daffodils. And my tulips have sprouted, as well as one hyacinth in each of these terracotta pots. We have a new screen door thanks to my husband who made it. Those tulips might be flowering when I do my next filming, which I'd like to do on the first day of spring, which is exactly 2 weeks' time. The camellia is just about spent, and it has flowered all winter long, and I will be pruning it soon. That's where I left my umbrella because it was drizzling before. This is what I call the Scandi garden, and it's not looking all that interesting at the moment. This is a rose which I want to cut right down to the base so it reinvigorates, but it is budding up. And this garden has some grape hyacinth in it, which are getting ready to bloom. And lots of sweet peas getting ready with growing their roots. Come spring, I might have some flowers. The climbing rose will have blooms shortly too, I suspect, yellow blooms. I went to the nursery yesterday, and on a whim I bought 2 peony roses, or herbaceous peonies I should say, and I planted one there and one about here, and they were just the tubers, so they'll take a good couple of years before we get flowers. And as a result, I decided to, this chives here extended to here, and I decided to get rid of a lot of them, and I transplanted them to another area. I winter sowed these spread seed poppies, and they came up nicely, but everything I research on the internet says they don't transplant well. So I'm going to cut them up and put them in this garden rather than pulling them out. Just cut it up and see if they transplant okay. I bought also on a whim 4 pelargoniums, and I've put this one in with the ranunculus. Hopefully it won't get hurt by upcoming frosts. We've got 2 hard frosts forecast this week. These nasturtium have survived here all winter. It's a little bit of a microclimate, being protected by our umbrella, which is often up, and just this kind of terrace area, so they didn't die down at all. And more grape hyacinth coming up here. I need to feed the lemon. I think that's why it's not growing so well. I need to give it more regular feeds. The hops is already sprouting. More daffodils in this bed, along with the stock, which again has flowered all winter. This rose is definitely going to survive. It's on its way back. This viburnum continues to promise to flower, but not blooming just yet. I've got some weeding projects here. The purple established Hardenbergia is in just about full bloom. Looks pretty good. And the new addition, the white Hardenbergia, is also blooming. It's a very pretty flower, and it does attract a lot of pollinators. I transplanted this echium, and the leaves did turn a bit red afterwards, but I think it will survive and it will be a bit of a feature here. and it'll be bordered by a hedge of pomegranates, which you can't really see at the moment, but they're there. Still have to prune the grape along the house terrace structure. I transplanted some of those garlic chives here, and this pear is in bud, so very soon it will have its spring flowers on. There's some garlic chives, and I need to plant a whole bunch of other things in this new bed, which is a little bit riddled with onion weed. Up in that section, I have planted a lot of daffodils and jonquils to get that naturalized look, and a lot of them are up. Some of them are going to be blooming soon. And now we return to the front. And I planted some of those garlic chives here as well. I'd like to plant a buddleia, I think, in the middle. That's the David Austin climbing rose, a beautiful white rose with pink highlights. Beautiful perfume that I'm looking forward to in spring. And that's late winter.